Hi guys, long time no speak on the writing front. I think it's been since July. I think that's when I filmed my last writing video, and a lot has happened since then, so I'm going to attempt to catch you up on all the things that have happened with my writing since July. That's a lot of stuff, a lot of months worth of stuff to catch up on, but it's very exciting, and I've got a very exciting announcement which you probably read in the title, but I will explain more as we go on. I'm so excited about this, but I've just got to tell you the whole story first. So we'll get to the announcement when we get to it, but until then, enjoy the ride. We'll see how long this video is because, like I said, a lot to catch you up on. So for those of you not in the loop, maybe you haven't watched my videos before, maybe you just don't care about my writing videos but want to watch this one. Who knows, you've all got your reasons for watching this. I've been writing a book since last year, but this year in July I wrote an entire book in 22 days. Yes, I finished the book. I don't think I'd finished it last writing vlog. I was right near the end, and I actually finished it. I think it was on the 22nd of July, and oh, it's the best feeling ever. I cried my way through the last chapter. It was incredible. It's the best thing I think I've ever done. I loved it. I don't want to say every second of writing it, but this last draft was incredible because I just got to write down the story, and that was the finished story. Things are changing, things are still changing with it, but that was the first time I knew that I had something that was pretty good. I mean, it's not amazing, and it's still not amazing because I've got loads of edits left to do, but it's something that I thought, yes, I've written a whole book. How many other people can say that? I've written a whole entire book, and I was so proud of myself. It was amazing. So I finished the book, and then after that my lovely friend Aisha, she was published in A Change Is Gonna Come, which is an amazing anthology. Her short story in that is called Marionette Girl, and I love it. We had swapped some writing before, so I sent it over to her and she gave me some feedback on it, which I then spent about half of September, just over half of September, writing and filling in all the changes that she thought needed to be made and how I could go about changing them. So it was her feedback and the things that I wanted to change. So I went back into the draft. I realised that, hey, you might have something here. In between that edit and finishing the book, I'd had some literary agents contact me being like, hey, if you're going to submit, could you perhaps send it to us? So that was very exciting, something I didn't really want to talk about because, I mean, I think it might not have come to anything, but it was still ongoing, so that was happening right in the background. Agents contacting me, asking to see the manuscript when I was ready for submission. So I went about edits and then got ready to submit, and I did that in September, right at the end of September. I actually filmed a video just before I submitted, but I didn't edit it in time because once I had submitted, it went very quickly. So quickly, in fact, that I still feel like I'm running at a breakneck pace just because it went so quickly and I never anticipated that. So for those of you who don't know, you submit to a literary agent in the UK. I don't know what it's like in other countries, but in the UK we have to have a literary agent if we want to submit to the proper publishers. Some independent publishers allow you to send in things if you're not agented, but the expectation in the UK is that you will have an agent if you're submitting to publishers. Like the ones you know, Penguin, Macmillan, all those kinds of publishers expect you to have a literary agent if you submit. So I submitted to 5 literary agents. I thought that was a really good number. 5 people had asked to see it, so I sent it to them. So I had to have 3 chapters of the book ready. Those are the 3 opening chapters. You have to have those. And then on the side, you have to have your full manuscript. So you have to have a full manuscript when you submit, but you don't need that just yet. So you have your first 3 chapters, then you have to write a synopsis, which is basically every single thing with spoilers that happens in the book. So I think I wrote about 2 pages on Microsoft Word in double font, which was my synopsis. It can be shorter than that, but that's pretty much the maximum length that it can be. And then I also had a query or cover letter, which is what you paste into your email, which talks a bit about the book like you would read on the back of a book, like, hey, this is how you can read this book without spoilers. It's just basically a small summary of what happens in the book, and then a bit about me, so I wrote a little biography at the end, and then like, thanks for your time, that kind of stuff. So when I sent it off, I pretty much, I can't even explain the emotions I was going through. To click the send button and to have my book out in the world for people to judge, it is one of the most scariest things I've ever done, because it's like, this isn't mine anymore. Somebody else is going to read this. Real professional insiders who were going to be like, yes, this is either good or it's so bad that we're not going to go anywhere near it. I pretty much ran around my living room being like, what have I just done? I've just sent my book out. What? Then when you submit, the agent can then go away and read your first 3 chapters, read your synopsis and cover letter, and then if they like that, they might request your full manuscript, in which case you have to send that over and then they'll read the whole thing. And this is where it's a bit weird in my case, because I had a full manuscript submission within 2 hours, so that was a real wild weekend. It was a weekend too, and this is, I still can't believe it. It went so quickly. So I had the full manuscript within 2 hours. I sent it over, and then the Monday morning came round and I had another full manuscript request, and by this point I was just freaking out big time, being like, someone actually wants to read my book. I still can't believe it. And then I think I had another one on the Wednesday, and then the Thursday. So in total I had 4 full manuscript requests. One agent just didn't want to see it, which was fair enough. That's their opinion. It might not have been something that they might have thought that they couldn't represent it or anything like that, but I'm not going to talk about who those agents were, because I mean, it's just my personal experience. It's not, you know, anything to do with the book. It could be due to circumstance, or it just wasn't for them. In total I had 4 full manuscript requests. It kept going on. I sent it over to the 4 agents. Yeah, 4 people have now read my book. I had 1 rejection, which, I mean, I was upset. I was very upset, but I totally get why that person rejected it, and it was definitely for the best. The feedback on that was that it just wasn't for them, and if you're looking for an agent, if someone has come to you and said, I want to offer representation, then you've got to be sure that that person really loves your book and is the best person for it. So if someone is a bit meh about it, then it's probably not someone that you want to represent that book anyway, and it's not to do with them. They might have an amazing list, but you know, it's just personal preference, and I totally get that, and I really appreciate that. So by this point, the Monday morning came around, or maybe the Tuesday morning, and I'd had an offer of representation from an agent, and that's all I can say. There's lots of weird noises in this video because it's a bit like, what is happening? What is happening? Yeah, I'm still in shock. I don't know when it's gonna fully sink in. It was a wild experience, let me tell you. A lot of crying, a lot of happy dancing, a lot of so I had an offer which was amazing, because it's like, okay, you can take a breather and you can just, you know, you've got somebody who's interested, so it doesn't matter anymore if everybody else says no. You've got something, you've got an option there. So then the remaining agents were coming to me to set up meetings, which is another thing that I don't know, I'd expected it, but it's one of those things, it's like people want to meet me in person, and that's a bit scary, and it's not always the best thing. I think this is it's really enlightened me to publishing as a whole, and how it's very London centric, and actually to be expected to go up to London is like not the easiest thing, but there are definitely options to explore if you just can't go to London and do that. So I went up to a meeting, and that was great, just to be able to talk about the book. That wasn't the agent I went with in the end, because I had another meeting after that, and it was just right. It felt so right. So I had that meeting on the Friday, I had another meeting on the following Thursday, so I in the end had to choose between 3 agents. I had 3 offers on the table, and I think I just knew, as soon as I'd had the last meeting, I knew which agent I wanted to go with. I knew that it felt so right. I knew that it was somebody who just got my book, who got the characters, who got what I was trying to do, who had the same vision as me, someone I got on really well with. We had a Skype call, and that was a really nice option to know that like you could have that phone conversation or the Skype call. You don't have to keep meeting with someone, even though at some point you're gonna have to, which I've already done. So yeah, there was a big decision on my hands, but I did know as soon as I met my agent that that it was right. I knew that that was the right person to represent my book. And I'm very pleased to announce that I'm no longer a single author. I am an agented author, and I am now represented by Lauren Gardner at Bell Lomax Morton. I knew as soon as I met Lauren, as soon as I was on the Skype call to her and her assistant Sophie, that they were the right people to work with on the book. It just felt so right, and I came away feeling so excited about the book, even more excited than, you know, I already was. And I just had so many ideas flowing in my head, which was amazing. I was so excited, it was the best thing. So I have a literary agent. I wrote a book and now I have an agent, and I'm on the process to hopefully being published one day, and it's the best thing. It's one of those things that if you could have told me 12 months ago that, hey, you're gonna have an agent this time next year, I'd have been like, what? You're lying. But now I do, and it's so cool. It's the best thing, because I've been up to a meeting in London and we've talked over edits and where we want to go next with the book, and I've been able to finally talk to someone about the characters. They're not just living in my head anymore, they're living in other people's too, which is so cool. It's so cool to be able to be like, hey, that character, this is why they did that, and what if they do this in this draft, and this is how we can go with that. And I just do feel so motivated now, just knowing that that person is on your side and they're championing you and your book. It's the best feeling ever. I'm so glad. I feel like I've really made the right decision, and it is such a personal decision. It was really difficult because, I mean, all the agents are really good, and it's not a case of saying, well, this person is really bad, so I'm not going to go with them. It's just about choosing the right person for you, whose style fits yours, whose voice fits yours, and who actually just gets your book. And I'm so happy. I'm so happy. So the next step is to do another round of edits. So I've got a big list of things to do that I'm constantly adding to that I need to change. It's not really big structural changes, which I kind of anticipated because I felt like I had the structure of the book down. But it's things like, well, why is this character doing this? What if they did this instead? Why don't you add a scene in here? Or this scene isn't working, so we'll just take this out and add something else in instead. A lot of just clarifying points and making things a bit bigger than they already are. So I'm very excited to delve back into it because I've been away from the manuscript for about, I want to say about a month, 2 months now, and I'm really ready to get back into it, to get back to my characters who I've missed so much. I love them, and hopefully you'll get to meet them one day if everything goes to plan. Who knows what will happen this time next year. A lot of you have asked on Instagram and stuff like, when's your book coming out? And I don't know, it hasn't been bought yet. So after I've done this next round of edits and then maybe another edit after that, what happens then once your book is ready to submit is that you put together a list of all the editors in the UK that you want to send it to, and then it gets sent to them, and hopefully one of them will like it and want to buy it. But I'm not gonna think about that just yet, but that is the next stage. So I can't give you a date of when it will be published because I know some of you have been asking, and I can't say like it's going to be published in Italy or Spain or wherever, like that's out of my control, but hopefully it will be, and I'll have some news to tell you at some point in the future. Yeah, I mean I can't say, but hopefully that will happen. I don't know what's going to happen. I didn't expect to get an agent. I was trying not to think too hard about it, but it's so nice to just have this part of the process done because it was stressful, I must admit. There were a lot of sleepless nights, there was a lot of worrying, there was a lot of panicking, and a lot of like, this is really happening. So I'm really glad to have this side of it done. But there's another submission gonna happen soon in a few months. so it's gonna start all over again. But I would quite like to do some vlogs while I'm editing, so if that's something you would like to see, let me know. I might do some just follow me around vlogs, like follow me around as I'm writing, that kind of stuff, because I find a lot of us talk about the writing but not a lot of us talk about the editing, so I'd quite like to do that because editing is a different ball game altogether. It's going to be a little bit stressful but not too much, I'm hoping. I've got a lot of stuff that I want to do, but I would like to do some vlogs, so let me know if that's something you would be interested in. Hopefully the next video won't be as long as this and I won't have as much news to tell you, but I really did need to catch you up. And I think I'm going to do some blog posts as well on the actual submissions process at some point, because that would be interesting. Let me know if that's something you'd like to see, or if there's any questions that you have about it. I'll either answer them in the comments or in a future video. I think I might do either, I don't think a video a day, but maybe a video a week on writing in December. I think that would be quite good. Just, it's kind of like a vlogmas thing, but a writing-mas, maybe that would be good. So we will see what happens. I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm gonna crack down on editing now, and then we'll go from there after that. Best view for me is to not be too optimistic, but not to be too pessimistic either. Somewhere in the middle, that is the right ground. That's the best place to be. I think that's everything that I needed to catch you up on. I'll leave all the links to my agent in the description. I'm just gonna keep saying that because it's like, someone believes in my book, yes, someone that's not me, yes. So I'll leave all the links if you want to check that out, and I'll also leave the playlist to my other writing videos if you want to catch up. If you've just watched this video and been like, what are you on about the whole time, then you can go watch the other writing videos if you would like. And I'll be back soon with another writing vlog. Who knows what will happen by then. Editing, hopefully. Lots and lots and lots of editing. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys soon. Happy writing!